Welcome to Birthing Your Greatness. Oh my goodness, our lunchtime learning hour. It is the top of the 12 o'clock hour. Oh, baby, yes. And I am with the one and the only Dr. Sharita Warfield. How you doing, Dr. Sharita?
Hey, hey,
Y'all,
hey, I
yeah.
am well. How are you?
Oh, I am great. I'm great. Listen, y'all are in for a super treat. Dr. Sharita is amazing in this field as a physician, coming from the emergency room into a healthy lifestyle training. It has been a wonderful transition for those of you who did the healthy as a lifestyle. No, what was that? What was the challenge? The
Fabulous
fabulous
fiber.
fiber challenge. Yes, for those of you who did the fabulous fiber challenge. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have some amazing testimonies. But right now, we're gonna watch and gain knowledge on how healthy is a lifestyle. And so I'm going to jump on out of here, and I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Sharita in her capable hands. And you guys get your pens and your papers ready, because this is going to be awesome. Dr. Sharita, take it.
Thank you, Miss Dithia. Welcome, 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 everyone. I'd like to thank you for joining me here on your lunchtime hour. I have set in store for you a wealth of knowledge that will be able to hopefully enhance your health as well as your life. Just a little bit about me. I am a board certified emergency medicine physician, practiced emergency medicine for over 25 years. Have always been a healthy lifestyle enthusiast. Um, Many of you who know me know that my mom had diabetes, suffered from complications of diabetes, and ultimately ended up passing away from that. I then got on a mission to hopefully prevent myself from coming down with diabetes, improving my health, eating healthy, losing weight, all of that good stuff. Still ended up with type 2 diabetes. So it was then my mission to educate myself as well as my family members, friends, and others, and my patients on the benefits of healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle so that we could ultimately prevent complications of diabetes and things like that that happened to my mother. So I want to share this presentation with you. That has been my life mission. And so give me a sec while I switch between screens and get set. And here we go. All right. So topic is, again, healthy as a life. See that wonderful thing there? I'm going to point out those things that I think are important. So healthy as a lifestyle. So the summary, basically, of this course or talk, you will learn the definition of healthy and the importance of being healthy. You're going to learn how your diet and lifestyle habits may be negatively impacting your health as well as your long-term quality of life. In this course, I'm going to give you information and tools that you can use to start changing your health for the better. It will allow you to take control of your health and decrease the risk of developing obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease. These are the illnesses and diseases that plague our communities of color at alarming rates. So we want to start now by preventing that, by getting healthy and staying healthy. So at the completion of this course, you will then understand why healthy is a lifestyle. As far as the objectives, we want to learn the true definition of healthy. What does it mean to be healthy? You're going to understand why it is important to adopt a healthy lifestyle. You're going to learn about sugar toxicity and addiction and how it develops. You're going to learn healthy ways to improve your dietary habits. You're going to understand the importance of physical activity and also understand all the important benefits of living a healthy lifestyle. So now let's define healthy. Healthy is defined as a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. It is also defined as the absence of disease in the body. And it is also defined as the ability to recover and bounce back from illness, as well as other problems like viral and bacterial attacks. So important now more than ever in the face of COVID-19, right? So you might ask the question, Dr. Sharita, why get healthy? Well, the American Medical Association has deemed obesity as a chronic illness. There are 93.3 million Americans, and that was in 2016, who were deemed obese. As I said before, in our communities of color, we lead the way statistically with those chronic illnesses as well as obesity. In Hispanics, it's 47%. And in Blacks, it's 46.8, or you might as well say 47%. We have the highest prevalence of obesity in our communities. Obesity is determined by the BMI, which is a calculation that we use, which takes your weight in relation to your height. And if you get a number of 25 or greater, you're considered overweight. If it's greater than 30, you're considered obese. Here's a graphic just showing you the breakdown of the body mass index or the BMI numbers and how they look in relation to body habitus. So as you can see here, if your number is 18.5 to 24.9, you're considered normal, right? 25 to 29.9, you're considered overweight. My BMI is slightly over 25, so I am considered overweight. We'll talk about that in a minute. If your BMI is greater than 30, but less than 34.9 or in between that range, you're considered obese. Anything 35 or greater, you're considered extremely or morbidly obese. Now, just a little side, the BMI takes into account your, like I said, your weight and your height, but it doesn't differentiate between fat and muscle. So if an individual is more muscular, they still may register with a high BMI, but not necessarily be unfit, right? So just something to keep in mind. It also didn't take into effect the cultural differences of bone density and muscle mass and how people carry their weight. That being said, it does give us a gauge that we can use that kind of standardizes our understanding of a person's level of fitness, if you will, medically. So now, if we continue on the trajectory that we are currently, present day, and we don't do any changes to our eating habits, activity habits, and all those things, the experts predict 85% of US adults will be overweight or obese by the year 2030. 85% of adults. We have to do better, people. We have to do something to stop that trajectory. That's why I'm here today. Why get healthy, you ask? Again, because obesity, being obese, even being overweight, puts us at risk for the development of various chronic diseases, heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, strokes, and even arthritis. Obesity is now known or viewed as an epidemic. We all know about epidemics, right? Epidemics and pandemics. Epidemics happen when there is a propensity of a particular illness, disease, or factor that occurs regularly in your community. Obesity is an epidemic. 30 million Americans have been diagnosed with diabetes. Interestingly, 7 million don't even know they have it. I was one of the 7 million. I didn't even realize I had diabetes. I thought I was doing all the right things, working out, exercising, losing weight. I thought I was eating right, only to come and find that I still ended up with type 2 diabetes. So unless you go to the doctor and get it figured out and you get tested, you may be walking around with pre-diabetes or even type 2 diabetes, not even you had it. Because you might not feel bad until you start feeling bad. And by then it might be not too late, but when you can do something about it early to prevent it, why not do that instead? And what is that? Adjusting your lifestyle. So, factors that cause obesity. Physical inactivity. This is a big one. We are a sedentary society. Sure enough, right? Overeating. That's another big one. We eat way too much. Genetics, yeah, genetics may play a role. If your parents are overweight, then most likely, one or few of the children may be overweight, but a lot of times that may be due to the eating habits and lifestyle habits that have been passed down from generation to generation. Excessive carbohydrates. We definitely eat way too many carbs, right? Medications can cause some forms of obesity. Psychological factors like depression, anxiety cause people to eat, overeat, stress eating, those kind of things. Diseases, there are various diseases, hypothyroidism, polycystic ovary disease. Different diseases may cause obesity. And then your environment may not be supportive of you getting out there and working out, and trying to lose weight and doing the right thing. But the big ones here are physical inactivity and overeating. So you might say, well, how does this happen? Well, as I said, we get on this cycle of eating all the wrong foods. So all of these here, all the wrong foods, right? You get continuous carbohydrate toxicity. All of these are carbs. All of these are carbohydrates, right? You get simple carbs, which are those ones that are broken down quickly and quickly raise the blood sugar and are not necessarily good for us. We eat way too many processed foods because, again, we are that hurry up and wait microwave kind of society. So we no longer cook our own meals at home. We're quickly going to the fast food restaurants, or we get something that you can quickly throw in the microwave because we don't want to take the time or have the patience to prepare a healthy meal for us, right? Hidden sugars. There are a lot of hidden sugars in foods that you really don't even realize. This right here is a major culprit. We're going to talk about how to identify those hidden sugars a little later. And supersized marketing. Well, now, you can go to McDonald's, you can go to any of the fast food restaurants, you get 2 burgers or 2 Whoppers, 2 orders of fries, and a drink for $5.99. And what do? We get it, we buy it, we eat it, and we eat it all, as opposed to pacing ourselves and listening to our bodies. So supersized marketing plays a major role in the overeating of society as we know it today. So sugar toxicity. I'm going to talk about it because sugar addiction is a thing, people. Sugar addiction is a thing. Sugar basically is used as a sweetener or a preservative. They use it when they process foods to enhance the flavor and prolong the flavor, right? And it also helps to preserve some of the naturalness to the food product. It is known that excessive consumption of sugar correlates with the rise of obesity and type 2 diabetes. It is said that sugar is just as addictive as drugs and alcohol, if you believe it. But it's true. And a lot of us are addicted, and we may not say we are, but we are. So it's just as addictive as drugs and alcohol. So I'm going to talk about this vicious cycle that happens, right? Sugar, when we ingest it, causes the release of dopamine from the brain. Dopamine is that feel-good hormone. So you know how when you eat that donut or that piece of cake and you instantly feel so good? It is the dopamine that has been released from the brain that causes you to feel that way. You get that sugar high, if you will, right? So then you get that and you want to feel it again. You know, people who stress eat or binge eat know this to be true. If you're depressed and you're feeling and you eat that half pint or pint of ice cream and you instantly feel better, that's that sugar high and that dopamine release. But excessive consumption of sugar causes the brain to release less and less of the dopamine. So then what happens? You have to consume more and more sugar to get that same kind of feeling. And then the vicious cycle continues. Anybody who's ever tried to detox themselves from sugar, and then when you reintroduce yourself to sugar and you eat that one little piece, then you instantly start craving more and more all over again. And then it's a wrap. The vicious cycle continues, right? So what we know about sugar is that it programs our bodies to gain weight. Sugar intake also contributes to the development of insulin resistance. And insulin resistance occurs when the body no longer uses insulin like it should. Insulin helps the body take in glucose or sugar to be used for energy. When insulin resistance develops, it no longer does that, and then the sugar backs up into the bloodstream, raising or elevating our blood sugar and causing other problems. It causes the release of free radical production in the body, and free radicals are scavenger cells or cells that attack our healthy cells in the body, right? This leads to chronic disease development and tissue and blood vessel damage, and a lot of the other things seen in many of those chronic illnesses that we talked about. So we're going to talk about how the average American actually can consume 150 to 170 pounds of sugar a year. Now you might say, no way, Dr. Sharita, unbelievable, impossible. But I'm going to show you how it happens. 150 to 170 pounds, that's about as much as I weigh, right? In a year's time. So let's see how that works. You got 1/4 to 1/2 pounds of sugar per day. That's what 150 to 170 pounds per year breaks out to, right? That equals 30 to 60 teaspoons of sugar in a 24-hour period. We know that there are 120 teaspoons in a pound of sugar. 120 teaspoons in 1 pound of sugar. So then you have 30 teaspoons in a 1/4 pound of sugar. You have 60 teaspoons in 1/2 pound of sugar, right? So let's take a 12-ounce can of soda. It has 8 teaspoons of sugar in it. Let's say you drank 4 12-ounce cans of soda a day. And that's easy for some people to do. Some people have one early morning, someone have one with lunch, someone have late afternoon, and you might have another with dinner. Your favorite, whatever it is, Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, 12-ounce can, right? So then that has you ingesting 32 teaspoons of sugar. 8 times 4, 32 teaspoons, right? Remember, I said there were 30 teaspoons in 1/4 of a pound. And this is on the low end. Supersizing it even makes it worse, right? So see how you can easily take in 1/4 pound of sugar a day if you drank 4 12-ounce cans of soda. That's just with the soda. We haven't even included sugar from any of the other foods. So see how easy it is to then ingest 150 pounds of sugar a year. Food for thought. So what can you do? Well, you want to work as hard as you can to prevent obesity. You want to change your eating habits. You want to make better choices. You want to change your lifestyle habits as well. And you want to start reading food labels. Reading food labels is a big key to improving your health. We're going to talk about that more in depth a little later on. What else can you do? You want to limit these foods. So limit your sugar sweetened drinks, sodas, fruit drinks, sports drinks. And you have to be mindful because, again, even if they say low sugar or no sugar, sugar has various 40 or 50 different names. So not that you have to equate yourself with all the names, but you want to be mindful if you are taking in added or excess sugar. Fruit juice, you want to refine grains. So that's anything, your white bread, your white rice, white pasta, anything made with those, white flour, you want to kind of limit or refrain from eating refined grains. White potatoes, you want to limit that. Limit your red meat consumption, beef, pork, or lamb. Limit processed meats. So those are things like salami, ham, bacon, bologna, sausage, hot dogs. Hot dogs to me are just the worst thing ever. They're like the junk cuts of the meat that are left behind after they've chopped up the animal. And then they take and they chop up and grind up and all these things. They put it together. Lord only knows what's in it. And they put it in a casing and call it a hot dog. It's the worst thing ever that we could ever eat. And I used to love hot dogs, but I digressed. And then lastly, you want to limit your intake of processed foods. What else can you do? You want to choose whole foods that are minimally processed. Basically, eat the food as if it was grown off the tree or picked from the vine. The less processed, the better. Eat whole grains instead of refined grains. So that's whole wheat, steel cut oats, brown rice, things of that nature. You want to eat a colorful variety of vegetables. You want to eat whole fruits, incorporate nuts, seeds, and beans into many of your recipes or your daily food regimen. And instead of eating the red meat, the pork, the lamb, you want to eat fish and poultry. Also, consider using plant oils, so like olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. So how do you begin? Well, you could go to choosemyplate.gov. If you need an idea of how to arrange your plate, they give you this nice graphic. And as you can see here, the plate is divided into fourths, right? If you just took and divided it down the middle and then divided it down the middle the other way, half of your plate should consist of fruits and vegetables. So when you're going to the next buffet or you're going to the next family cookout, go for the veggies first, right? And fill up your plate with veggies. Maybe put a little bit of fruit on there, a minimal amount of healthy grains, and then a protein source. And if you choose to eat dairy, you can have a small serving of dairy as well. This is what your plate should look like real life or real time, right? So we have here half our plate filled with vegetables. We have a small portion of salmon. And then you have, your brown rice, right? Again, keeping in mind to exercise portion control as well. The next important thing is to stay physically active. Like I said, we are severely inactive as a society. Technology has made us lazy. A lot of people work. Now we're working from home. We're sitting at the computer. We're sitting at the desk all day. And so we're not getting that activity that we need, that we would generally get by being out and about or intentionally making sure we get physical activity. We have vacuums, the little robot vacuums that vacuum for us. We even have the remote control that we can, change the TV channel from the couch. You don't even have to get up anymore to change the channel. So again, technology may have made us lazy, but we have to be intentional about getting the physical activity that we need to stay healthy. Because studies have shown that physical activity reduces the risk of early mortality by death caused by all causes, right? It also helps reduce death from heart attack, diabetes complications, and stroke. So physical activity is important. It also helps us manage our chronic diseases and the complications that might arise. It improves our quality of life, reduces our risk of chronic illness by staying physically active. And here's a good one, right? The big one that everybody likes. It helps you lose or maintain weight. Because what happens is you burn calories. So if you're taking in food for energy and you're taking in the right food, and then you're burning it with physical activity, you get a negative balance, and then you lose pounds, inches, and all of that good stuff. So the recommendations for U.S. adults activity is that we engage in about 150 to 300 minutes per week of moderate to vigorous activity. That could break out into 30 to 60 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You can break it out into smaller increments. If you can't carve out that time, then you might do it every 10 minutes, 15-minute intervals within a given day, as long as you get it done. 150 to 300 minutes minimally per week. Moderate to vigorous activity includes things like walking briskly at about a 3.5 mile per hour pace, bicycling less than 10 miles per hour. I am an avid cyclist. My husband and I, we road bike. We get out and we ride, an hour and a half, 2 hours on the weekends. We do less during the week, but it's just a matter of getting out there and getting it done, right? General gardening, like raking or trimming the shrubs, planting flowers, things like that are considered moderate to vigorous activity. You can either do dancing. You can engage in 18 rounds of golf, right? But that's carrying and walking, carrying your clubs and walking, not in the golf cart, in order to be considered moderate to vigorous activity. And also you might consider getting into water aerobics as well. So if you think that's too much, if you can't get in 150 minutes, some is better than nothing at all, right? So you might consider still doing other activities to get in that 90 minutes of activity. Let's try parking further from the door. Go to the store, we're always fighting to try and get those first few spots closest to the door. Park far and then just walk in. Consider taking the stairs at work. Walk during your lunch break instead of sitting there in the break room gossiping about who slept with who or who did what. Get up and walk during your lunch break, all right? You might consider exercising during commercial breaks. You can do some squats, some jumping jacks, get some cans of beans or what have you, and do some, arm pumps, tricep kickbacks, whatever the case. Just get moving. And, it's been said that prolonged sitting is detrimental to our health. So when we sit for long periods of time, it's best to get up and break up that prolonged sitting, say every 20 minutes or so. If you can't do it every 20 minutes, at least every hour, get up and move around about 1 to 5 minutes. Walk to and fro, go to the water dispenser, walk up and down the stairs, whatever you need to do. Let's just get moving and keep moving because we sit entirely too much. If you can't get in that 150 to 300 minutes per week of moderate intensity physical activity, then you can do 75 minutes of vigorous activity, and that'll yield the same results. These are things like heavy gardening, so shoveling, raking, you're really putting in work, right? Cycling at a faster pace, 15 miles per hour, running at an intense pace, and even swimming laps are considered vigorous activity. A good game of basketball, whatever your preference, you just want to get in and work up a good sweat. Doing that 75 minutes a week, again, something is better than nothing at all. Also, along with the cardiovascular or the aerobic physical activity, you want to make sure that you add in muscle strengthening activity. At least 2 days a week. So 2 to 3 days a week, you should be putting in some weightlifting or using some resistance bands. You can even use your own body's weight with certain calisthenic moves to serve this same purpose. So you don't need to go out and buy a bunch of fancy equipment. You can do it under your own weight. Planks, pull-ups, sit-ups, push-ups, those kind of things are calisthenics with your own body weight. The benefits of physical activity. They did a study, right? And they found that a single session of moderate to vigorous exercise was found to decrease the blood pressure, decrease anxiety, increase insulin sensitivity, so then the body uses insulin and glucose more efficiently, increase quality of sleep, and increase your mental alertness. So you know how you feel good after you work out and you get a good sweat in? That's what happens. This is all the benefits. So a single session of working out will yield these benefits for you. You sleep better, you feel better, you look better, and you're on your way in the physical activity. So now what are some of the benefits of being healthy or having a healthy lifestyle? Well, it's actually very cost effective. You figure if you put the work and the time in now, then you don't have to pay later, so to speak. So then you're not ill and using your money on expensive doctor bills or expensive surgeries or expensive medication, right? It reduces your risk for chronic disease. As I said before, it helps you lose weight and maintain the weight loss. It improves your overall sense of well-being because you get that good endorphin release, right? So you feel great. It improves your energy, it boosts your mood, decreases your anxiety, and actually helps improve and decrease your stress levels. Being healthy is very achievable. So then from that, after you get on the healthy bandwagon and you're seeing your results, you feel good, it's achievable, it's an accomplishment. It also helps improve longevity, right? So it improves your longevity of life. It has been said that it adds life to your years, but it also adds years to your life. So again, how do you get started? Well, you first start by developing a healthy mindset. You make your mind up today that you're going to get healthy and you want to stay healthy. You can't do it until you're ready. So you have to make your mind up first. That means you don't give in to the excuses. Nothing else stands in your way. If you do fall off the bandwagon, you figure out a way to get back on. And you develop that mindset that I am doing this for me. Or you develop your why. You question, what is my why? What is my reasoning? And then you devote yourself to that. Might be your grandchildren. It might be your children. It might be an upcoming trip that you have, a class reunion. Whatever your motivation is, you want to get started. For me, it was, I didn't want to end up with the complications like my mom did, right? And I want to be around for my children and my grandchildren. So you have to identify your why, and then you stick to it in your mindset. Eating healthy is a choice. So you control what you eat. So you have a choice between the ice cream or the salad. And I know that's extreme. But again, the choice is yours. You know, when you eat it, is it good for you? Is it helping you? Is it a good source of energy? Or is it unnecessary, useless calories? Is it unnecessary or too much sugar? So you are what you eat, right? It starts with you. You make the decision. How do you eat right? Well, you want to make healthy choices, eat a colorful variety of fruits and vegetables, exercise portion control. Again, this is a big one. Kind of hard for some people at the start. But if you eat until you are full, when you feel that little stretch on your stomach, when you eat until you're full, you won't overeat. You just stop. You're giving your body enough energy to sustain. You don't need to eat all that food we've been eating. You want to decrease the amount of processed foods. Again, like they say, shop the perimeter of the grocery store. Everything up and down the aisles in between is processed. Because think about it. How is it able to stay on the shelf and still taste somewhat tasty, if you will, without it being processed? So it has gone through some form of processing. So shop the perimeter of the grocery store as much as you can and eat those foods, which have a tendency to be healthier for you. And then lastly, you want to read food labels. This is the most important thing that you can do when you choose certain foods. You know what is going into your body. So healthy choices. Like I said, you are what you eat. We go on the green, you're eating all, fruits, vegetables, cooked whole grains, legumes, beans, those kind of things, non-fat dairy. Moderation, you want to eat foods, fast foods. I would say no, not at all. But if you decide to engage, eat in moderation. And then very rarely, again, or in moderation, ice cream, cake, candy, cheese, chocolate, sugary drinks, those kind of things. Because again, you are what you eat. So you make the decision. What you put into your mouth, is it helping you or hurting you? As I said, a colorful variety of vegetables and fruits. This is what it looks like. See how all of these fruits and vegetables in the different colors? When you go shopping, grocery shopping, you should have a wide variety in your cart. When you're preparing your meals, again, likewise, use a wide variety of fruits and vegetables and different things in the different dishes that you prepare. Eating a colorful variety of fruits and vegetables helps you get your 5 servings a day, which is recommended. Portion control. Avoid oversized portions. Even if you go out to restaurants or you go to different places, or you go to a cookout or a buffet and they give you a large portion, just because they give it to you, don't mean you have to eat it all in one setting. Eat half, divide it up, eat half, and save the rest for dinner, lunch the next day, or something like that. Or share it with a family member. You don't have to eat everything. Gone are the days when grandmama said, clean your plate. You couldn't get up from the table until you cleaned your plate, right? Portion control. Processed foods. These are what we're talking about when we say processed foods. These are the foods that are all up on the shelves and in the aisles that, again, may cause elevated blood sugar spikes, have all of these refined grains and different processes undergoing chemical processing to preserve the food, again, but may not necessarily be good for you. So we want to limit or avoid as much as we can. Reading food labels. So we talked about that a little earlier. Here is an original food label as it looked. And then this is the new format or the new food label, in part as a result of our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama. It was her initiative that got the food labels to change, right? And so it made it more consumer and user friendly so that you could get an idea of truly what you were ingesting. As you can see here, the old food label really didn't, it showed you different things, but you had to really kind of, look through and piece it out. Whereas here, the main thing that is highlighted, you have your serving size, right? And the amount of serving per container. Now, this is a big one here because when you look at these other nutrient facts, it is in relation to this serving size, which is 2/3 cup. So a 2/3 cup serving would give you 230 calories, 8 grams of fat, 37 carbohydrates, and so on, right? This container contains 8 of these serving sizes. So many of us, right, get a container of chips or cakes or cookies, and if you eat the whole container, so if you were to eat this whole container, right, you would get 8 servings times 230 calories. So you end up taking in 8 times 230. All right, that's a significant amount of calories. That's what would happen if you ate the whole package. So do not be misled. You have to look at the serving size, and then you multiply these nutrient facts times the amount of servings at this weight that you ingest. Food for thought. That's why, again, very important to read your labels and be able to understand what it means, what you're looking at. Same thing with, carbohydrates. If you ate this particular one serving, you get 37 carbs, right? 37 grams of carbs. But if you ate half the bag, you get 37 times 4, which is well over the recommended daily amount of carbohydrates, especially if you're a diabetic and you're looking to control your carbs. Are you getting enough sleep? Sleep is vitally, vitally, vitally important. Right? It is recommended that we get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Many of us don't. I usually try to. I usually get close to 7. I very rarely get 9 hours. But it is recommended for U.S. adults to get at least 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night. Why is sleep important? It is vital to our overall health and well-being. Just plain and simple. It allows our bodies time to heal and repair. We need that rest period to allow our bodies time to reset, to heal, and repair. Especially if you're doing all the good stuff and you're physically active and you're working out and you lifting weights and you popping those muscle fibers, they need time to repair and repair so that you can, get those big muscles, right? Growth, you need rest. Repair, you need rest. You need to get your sleep. It also helps us improve our concentration. We usually experience less depression, less anxiety. It improves our athletic performance because it gives us more energy. It improves your coordination. And it has been said that it improves your speed, makes you even faster if you are an endurance athlete. It also has been shown to improve your immune function. So sleep, very important to boost our immune system so that it can fight off various diseases and assaults. And it also improves our emotional and social interactions. Nothing worse than somebody who is sleepy and they're crabby or irritated and, you're out and interacting with them and they're just, a crabby patty. That's because they're sleepy and they're irritated and they're mad at the world because they're sleepy. Go to sleep. Get enough sleep every night so you're not negatively impacting those people who you're interacting with. 7 to 9 hours, people. 7 to 9 hours. Do what you have to do. Adjust your schedule so that you're getting adequate sleep per night so that you can reap these benefits. So again, to adopt a healthy lifestyle, how do you get started? Like I said, it starts here. A mindset shift. Identify when you're ready. Make your mind up when you're ready. And once you're ready, then embark upon all the changes that are needed. You want to exercise mindful eating habits. You want to become more physically active. You want to get adequate sleep. Keep in mind, take baby steps. Don't try and, if you're not physically active, don't try and jump off and do something that you haven't been used to doing. Start small. Start slow. Maybe start walking and you walk half a block. And the next thing you know, you're walking 3 blocks. And then you slowly increase. If you're into running or jogging, start off slow. Do half a mile and then a mile and so on and so on. So slowly build on your successes. If you decide I'm going to cut down on sugar, slowly cut it down. Cut out your evening, donut or your morning, donut with your coffee. Different little things that you can do to adjust, to start slowly and then gradually work your way up. You want to set reasonable goals. So don't start off by saying, okay, I'm going to work out 2 hours a day. I'm not eating any sugar. I'm not eating any meat. I'm only eating vegetables. I'm sleeping 9 hours a day. Set reasonable goals, something that you can achieve. And you can't look lateral because what works for one person may not work for you and vice versa. But when you do reach a milestone, celebrate your wins. So very important to celebrate your wins, right? That keeps us motivated. You want to stay accountable. Write it down and keep track of your progress. Because then you can look from whence you came to where you end up. And you celebrate that. You get accountability partners. You can get support from your family member or friends, your coworkers. Start walking groups or workout groups, cycling clubs, whatever your activity of choice is. Get engaged in a weight loss, challenge at work, whatever your, motivational thing is, go for it and celebrate. I'll leave you with this thought. Your body is a reflection of your lifestyle. So think about that. Your body is a reflection of your lifestyle. That's what you eat, how active you are, how you sleep, the choices you make. Your body, a reflection of your lifestyle. So I want to just leave you with this. Let's stay in touch. Okay. MD.com. You can look me up there. I have some interesting blogs with other helpful information that might be interesting to you. You can find me on all social media sites at Dr. Sharita MD. That's DrSharita MD on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I also have a podcast, if you're into listening to podcasts, where I talk about health and wellness. The podcast, you can find me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. And the name of the podcast is The Trend In with Dr. Sharita. So go sign up, subscribe, follow me, share it with your family and friends. I need as many followers as I can get. Please, please, please share the knowledge. Don't be stingy. Share the love, right? And then lastly, I am an author. I'm a best-selling author on Amazon. My book called Get Informed, a guidebook for recently diagnosed diabetics and their loved ones, for pre-diabetics or diabetics, or if you have family members who have recently been diagnosed with diabetes and kind of want to know the ins and the outs in an easily readable way, then go to www.getinformedbook.com and you will get a personally autographed copy from me. Really great insight and a really great resource for those people who, again, are diagnosed with diabetes, don't quite know what to do, want to know about it, want to know how to manage it, want to know how to go about eating and living right. Get my book. And then I also have some other online courses on the Collaborative You website, thecollaborativeyou.com, right? Other courses that might interest you are soul food. Is it still good for you? All right, talk about the typical soul food dinner. We talk about the history of soul food and how it came to be, but actually pose the question, is it still good for us in the way that it was originally prepared, in the way we prepare it now? Also, Food Swaps for the Soul, a culinary guide for the culture. Here, I kind of show us those foods that we are traditionally used to eating and how you can swap them out or different ways to prepare those foods so that we get a healthier twist on it, but don't get away from the cultural history and the enjoyment that we've come to know. Also, the Physically Active Life, Let's Get Moving, is another online course. And this basically delves into physical activity more in depth to let you know the benefits, the guidelines, recommendations, and different things that you can do to get healthier by becoming physically active. And then lastly, the Fabulous Fiber Challenge. We launched that once before. If I get enough people signing up, we can launch it live again. It's a 5-day challenge where I educate you on the positive health effects of increasing fiber in your diet. And I show you how to do it naturally without taking supplements, but do it by incorporating fibrous foods into your diet. We are significantly under fiberized, if you will. In other words, we take in far too less fiber as American adults than we should. So I show you, again, easy ways to incorporate fiber in your diet, show you how easy it is, and it's very helpful as far as losing weight and improving your health. So join me for my online classes. Go to thecollaborativeyou.com. I think we're going to have some easy to share links at the end of the video where if you're interested in signing up for any of these courses, then you can go ahead and do that. And I hope to see you there. I thank you so much for your time and attention. Hopefully it's been extra helpful to you. I've enjoyed educating you and talking with you. And we'll turn it back over to Miss Dethea.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing lunchtime presentation. I mean, we had so many people on listening, commenting. We really appreciate you guys. There is a link tree option that I'm going to post in the comments of this post that will have access to all of Dr. Sharita's courses, and it'll be easy for you to find. Don't forget to join the Facebook group at bit.ly BYG Facebook /BYG Facebook group. That's where you'll be entered into the drawing. So once you're in that group, every Friday there's a drawing. I just recognized this past Friday there was a drawing, but I didn't post who won. So funny. But I will get that done. Man, the life of an entrepreneur, so many moving parts, but I will get that done. But every Friday, 1 o'clock, there'll be a drawing, whether it's a free course, whether it is free coaching, whatever it is, that will be in there. But Dr. Sharita, thank you so much for spending your time. I mean, I know this is your passion. I know that healthy living is your passion. So it comes through in your presentation. Thank you for spending time with us at the Birthing Your Greatness Lunchtime series now through October
Absolutely.
16th. Yes, absolutely, guys. Join the Facebook group if you want replays. You're not going to get replays on regular Facebook. It's going to be on the Facebook group. Join the
Were there
Facebook
any
group if you want the
questions?
replay. Yeah, I didn't see any questions, but honestly, if there are any questions, guys, feel free to drop them in the comments. I am looking at comments now. Feel free if there are any questions about what was said to drop it in the comments, and I'll actually put up a note questions, and let's see if there are any questions. We have a few more moments. I have a question though, Dr. Sharita. I do, because
Yes, ma'am.
it's interesting because a lot of what you said in your presentation, I've been doing since August of last year. August of last year, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes, and I was like, okay, no, 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 no. And I asked
Yeah,
him, well, what do I do? And he said, you need to lose weight, number one, and you need to change your eating habits. So immediately I didn't do a cold turkey because I couldn't stop eating right. But what I did do is I went pescatarian. So I knew I wanted to eat meat. So I just said, let me just stay with seafood because I like that. And
hmm,
then I took out a lot of the dairy. I never was a soda drinker, never a big sweets person, but I just believe I ate too much of the combination. So I do some intermittent fasting. So I only eat in a certain window, and I just incorporated the exercise. I've lost 55 pounds since
Woo! Yes,
last year.
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. And that for me, it had been very hard for me to do that. But you said something. You said you got to make up your mind. And just him telling me I was pre-diabetic, that was like
Hmm.
a slap in the face, like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to
Yeah,
do it, and borderline high blood pressure, those kind of words, when they hit you, and you do have to make changes. So I just
absolutely.
wanted to kind of testify that, yeah, absolutely what you said was true for me.
No, that's true, and it is sometimes the diagnosis, because I know when I got mine, I was like, "What? What do you mean I'm diabetic?" No, not me. You got to retake that test. You wrong. You wrong, doc. Not me, the doctor, talking to my doctor, right? But it is true that if you make those necessary changes, if you lost 5 to 10% of your body weight, that you can reverse in a lot of times, or as being a pre-diabetic, you can prevent yourself from or prolong the onset of type 2 diabetes. So kudos to you, because you're well on your way. And if you continue to eat that way and exercise and continue those healthy lifestyle habits, then you can improve your quality of health quality of life for years to come.
Well, thank you. Now I don't see any questions, so we're gonna take our time because we've taken their lunch hour, and we've smashed it. We have given them some amazing information. Again, thank you, Dr. Sharita, for your time.
Absolutely.
Guys, don't forget. Hey, give me your website for the book again, Dr. Sharita, so I can put it in the notes in the
It is
comments.
www.getinformedbook.com. GETINFORMED
Oh,
book.
I would misspell it. Yes, indeed. Mm.
Yeah,
Get in.
not get from.
I know. Oh Lord, that's me typing too fast. Getinformedbook.com. Got it. Okay. So guys, that book is amazing. I think I'm gonna ask Dr. Sharita to donate one of those books to our drawing, and so maybe one of you can win it, but you got to join that Facebook group to do so.
I
Um,
definitely will. Definitely.
Thank you so much. So we will be giving away one of those books, but for those of you who need that information, please go to www.informedbook.com. All right, well, we are ending up today's BYG presentation, our
Yeah.
lunchtime learning. Yes, don't forget the Collaborative U. The Collaborative U is a e-learning platform for those of you who want to be educated, empowered, and inspired. We are out. Peace. Thank you guys for joining